Hi guys, welcome to you all. In this session, we will discuss about disaster management. So these are the contents in disaster management. Right now, we are dealing with introduction part in disaster management, that is DM. What is hazard? Hazard is a physical phenomena which may cause injury or loss of life, damage to property, social and economic disruption, or environmental degradation. Hazards are two types: natural hazard due to natural origin like cyclones, earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, etc. The second one is man-made hazards due to purely human negligence. Examples: explosions, dam failures, bomb blasts, etc. Hazards become a disaster only when there is greater vulnerability and less capacity to cope with it. So what is vulnerability? Vulnerability means the extent to which a community structure service is likely to be damaged or disrupted by the impact of particular hazard on the basis of their nature, construction, terrain, etc. This means that we are all vulnerable in different degrees to disaster caused by these hazards. For example, in East Coast cyclones, Himalayas earthquakes, Ganga and Brahmaputra plains floods, Rajasthan or Western Orissa severe droughts are naturally occurred. So what is vulnerable profile of India? Over 55% of the land area vulnerable to earthquakes, 12% to floods, close to 5,700 out of 7,516 kilometers long coastline is prone to cyclones and tsunamis. 70% cultivation land prone to drought. What is disaster? Disaster is an event, either man-made or natural. It may be sudden or progressive, which affects the community beyond their coping capacity, or in other words, the occurrence of sudden or major misfortune, which disrupts the basic fabric and functioning of society and community according to United Nations. When disaster strikes, the government and international agencies such as United Nations Red Cross and panchayats in rural areas assist us. But however, the community is the first responder. India, with its vast population and unique geophysical characteristics, is one of the world's most disaster-prone country. So there are five categories. In each category, there are different types of disasters. The first one is geological or geophysical category. In this category, earthquake, landslides, tsunamis, dam burst, volcanic eruption, etc. In hydrological and climatic, we have cyclones, cloudburst, tornado, and hurricanes, floods, heat and cold waves, drought, sea erosion, etc. In environmental category, we have environmental pollution, desertification, deforestation. In biological, we have human and animal epidemics, food poisoning. In chemical, industrial, and nuclear accidents, we have disasters like chemical disasters, oil spills, and fires. Industrial disasters, nuclear, etc. So what is capacity? Capacity can be defined as resource, means, and strengths which exist in households and communities and which enable them to cope with withstand, prepare for, prevent, mitigate, or quickly recover from a disaster. So basically, capacity means their resources to fight or to quickly recover from a disaster is called capacity. Next, risk. Risk is a measure of the expected loss due to hazard event occurring in a given area over a specified time period. So risk means expected loss. Risk is a function of the probability of particular hazardous event and the losses each would cause. The level of risk depends upon nature of hazard. Risk is depends on nature of hazard because in different hazards there are different types of risks. For example, in earthquakes, large buildings are fall down, etc. like that. Vulnerability of the elements which are affected. For example, in earthquakes, old buildings will get more risk than new buildings or buildings with good construction, like that. Next one is economic value of these elements. So this is also a matter. So these are the stages in disaster management cycle. The first one is before a disaster. Activities taken to reduce human and property losses caused by a potential hazard. For example, carrying out awareness campaigns, strengthening the existing weak structures, preparation of disaster management plans at a household and a community level, etc. These are termed as mitigation and preparedness activities during a disaster, that is disaster occurrence. Initiative taken to ensure that the needs and provisions of victims are met and suffering is minimized. Activities taken under this stage are called emergency response activities. After a disaster, that is post disaster, initiatives taken in response to a disaster with a purpose to achieve early recovery and rehabilitation of affected communities immediately after a disaster strikes. These are called recovery activities. So in disaster management cycle, before a disaster or pre-disaster, in this the activities done is known as mitigation and preparedness activities, whereas in during disaster or disaster occurrence the activities under this is known as response activities. After a disaster or post disaster, that activities taken into consideration in this stage is known as recovery activities. So these are the stages of disaster management cycle. In mitigation, we conduct public education, hazard and vulnerability assessment, improved infrastructure. In preparedness stage, emergency response plans, we conduct emergency response plans, training and exercise sirens. In response stage, life safety, incident stabilization, property preservation, evacuation and shelters, mass care. In recovery stage, we recover economic debris management, housing, health and social service, etc. These are the major disasters in India since 1970. So for the last 30 years, there are 431 major disasters. In this, it is very important. 1971, Orissa killed 10,000 people. This is also important. In 1977, Andhra Pradesh cyclone and tidal waves killed 20,000 people. 26 January 2001, Bhuj in Gujarat earthquake, more than 10,000 dead and heavy loss to infrastructure. So once check it out, all these are very important. So 9th landslides in Assam, 10th Nagaland landslides, 11th Malpa landslides, floods in northeast India, floods in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Goa, Kerala and Gujarat. So these are the previous questions from recent APPSC screening and main test. Let's look at this first one. At which stage of disaster management cycle would response be the main activity? So response activities are in disaster or occurrence of disaster stage. So it is, the answer is B. And the second one, among us the following, which type of a disaster is a tsunami? Tsunami is a geological or geophysical disaster. So one should be the answer. The following are the 4 key phases of disaster management cycle. So what is the 4 keys? So this is DM, disaster management. Then this is mitigation. This is preparedness. This is response stage. And this is recovery stage. So D is the answer, right answer. So next one, largest floods India are caused by the rivers. This is Ganga and Brahmaputra plains, rivers. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please comment if you have any suggestions. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and for more videos, please don't forget to subscribe.